All right. I'm on my front porch. It's shaded right now where I'm at. So, anyway, I want you to join me because I want to talk to you about my mobile home life. And anyway, if you're new to my channel, I'm widowed, raising my now 9-year-old son. And I'd like to see how close I am to the sun. I'd like to talk to you about, first of all, when mine and my husband's son Caleb was born. He just had a birthday, October 13th. And this is our first birthday without his dad. But it turned out good. We had a good time. I got Caleb. I'll tell you what I got him, but I won't say what everybody else got him, like his family and stuff. But he wanted a TV, a Samsung. So anyway, that had web on it. So anyway, I got him hang on. Oh, sorry. I was checking. Something popped up on my phone. Anyway, he wanted a Samsung with where you can get on the internet, on the TV and stuff. So anyway, that's what I got him for his birthday. And so it was 32 inch. That's about the size his room can only handle, the size it is. But I wanted to get on here and tell you the story of Caleb's birth. He was born in 2016. I was 42 when he was born. Me and my husband had a hard time conceiving him. And anyway, so he was considered a high-risk pregnancy. And just due to my age, I mean, which I've got 4 other kids. They don't belong to my husband. My husband helped raise my youngest daughter, which she's grown now. But he was a big part of her raising, and she thinks of him as her dad. Even my husband's mom still has contact with her and, treats her like a grandchild as well. But anyway, when Caleb was born, I had a fair pregnancy. I had gestational diabetes. And I also had it with my daughter, Kate. And so anyway, back then, at that time, I was showing really no signs of preeclampsia. And then I was 34 weeks. And he just barely turning 34 weeks, which Ed didn't plan wanted to do a C-section because of my age with Caleb. And so anyway, and I'd had previous C-sections before. I've had regular births. My firstborn was a C-section. I had 3 regular births, and then the doctor that delivered Caleb, was going to deliver Caleb, he did not want me to do a regular birth because I had pre-C-sections. And a pre-C-section, even though I had normal births afterwards. My other kid's doctor retired that delivered them. So it was kind of a brand new situation when Caleb was born. So anyway, I was seeing a high-risk doctor as well. They had my blood sugar really low. I was taking medication for it. And I'd wake up sometimes in the middle of the night, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, just shaking. Could barely walk, very dizzy. Feel like I was just going to fall over, and could barely walk to just get myself to sit down at the kitchen table from the bed. And so I'd be like that, and I'd test my blood sugar. I mean, I've sent it down to 30, 34, quite a bit. And of course, I kept like peanut butter and crackers. So I grabbed a thing of that, eat it, and then try to go. Then I'd kind of perk up a little and go back to bed. So, I mean, they had my blood sugar way too low, honestly. And I would tell them about it and show them what it was, and oh no, it's fine. I'm like, 34, 30. I mean, it's almost close to going in a coma, a diabetic coma. And it very well scared me how I felt. But anyway, to go on, I went to a high-risk doctor's appointment, and my husband was at work, Michael. Caleb's dad was at work. And when I went to the high-risk doctor's appointment, they said, we're going to give you 3 hours for your husband to get here. The baby's got to be born now. But they said, we're going to try to give you 3 hours. Unless we find something different, or the baby at risk or you at risk or anything. They said my blood pressure was 220 over 110. That's the bottom number it was. So it was 220 over 110. I remember that, the numbers on that day. And they said, unless your blood pressure gets worse, they said you could go on. But my husband was working out of town. His job had him going anywhere from Kentucky and Tennessee. So he traveled daily with his job. And he could be anywhere in the Kentucky area or pretty much anywhere in Tennessee area. So he could have been 4 hours away. But just so happened he was in Nashville. So anyway, I called and told him as I was walking over the hospital, which the hospital and that place is kind of connected together. You just kind of had to walk outside to go to the baby ward or delivery, area. So anyway, I called him, told him what was going on, and Michael said, I'll be there quickly. And he said, I'll be there before 3 hours is up. So anyway, he got there before 3 hours is up. He had about 45 minutes. And so anyway, I had to have surgery, C-section, surgery. I did it awake. And that was the first time I ever had a C-section awake. The first C-section I ever had, I was asleep. So anyway, when I had the when I was sitting there, Michael was in there holding my hand, so he was in there for Caleb's birth. They was very worried Caleb wouldn't come out breathing good. So anyway, when he was born, I heard him cry. Michael was taking pictures, and so the nurse, I heard her say, oh, he can breathe perfectly. So that was great. One obstacle took care of for Caleb. And then, but the trouble, they said he is the sickest one in the NICU unit. Of course, he had to be put in the NICU unit. He weighed 5 pounds exactly. And he, and so he is good size, breathes good for 6 weeks early. And he, the only bad thing, where they gave me blood sugar medicine to keep my blood sugar, it stayed so low, he came out with low blood sugar. His blood sugar, and our sugar is different than a newborn. His blood sugar was going about 30. And his little hand would just tremble like this on both hands. And it'd stop for a minute and then start trembling again. And come to find out, of course, that was low blood sugar. They got his sugar under control before he left the hospitals. Caleb does not have blood sugar issues to this day. After that first initial, when he was born and coming out of the NICU unit, he's never had problems with it again. Again, I do believe firmly that it was due, they had my blood sugar so low. He came out with low blood sugar. So he had that, and he had to have a feeding tube. He just couldn't stay awake to suck a bottle down, so they had a little feeding tube down his little nose. He kept the feeding tube in for 3 days. And as in the middle of the night, of course, I was done released from the hospital, but I stayed at what they call hospitality house. It's kind of like their version of Ronald McDonald House, where somebody can stay there, our relative's sick at the hospital, and it's wasn't even a half a block from the hospital there, and where I had a C-section, the security guard would come get me and transport me back and forth to the excuse me, hospital. Sorry. I'm not going to stop the video. Sorry, my allergies really acting up. And a little hoarse from it. You probably can't tell. But anyway, security guard come get me and take me back and forth since I was sick as well. You know, C-section wise, recovering and things like that. So anyway, in the middle of the night, I came in for the 12 o'clock feeding. The nurse said why I had went over to the hospitality house and came back. Of course, I'd showered, whatever, and all that, come back to feed the baby. And then I was back at the hospitality house around 1:30, and then be up by about 5 to 6 in the morning again, you know, scenario. And I nursed Caleb too, partially. He had to be bottle fed and nursed because of his size to make sure he was getting everything. But what I was saying, when I came in for the midnight feeding, the nurse said that baby took its own feeding tube out and said, we're going to give him a bottle. And so anyway, he had spent 3 days on the feeding tube, and he started drinking his, you know, milk like he should, and he never had another feeding tube. So as soon as they got the blood sugar under control, Caleb got to go home, and he was so tiny. I mean, I remember I put him in that big old baby bed, which, I mean, is a normal sized baby bed, and I remember looking down in there at him and just looking at him sitting there, his little eyes is open, and just thinking he was so little in that big, humongous baby bed. And so, yes, Caleb had a hard entry in the world, and even physically, it took him a little while to hit his milestones, not mentally, but physically, you know, his body strength to set up, walk. He was a little late on those milestones because his body had to catch up, I guess. But that child is a genius now. And when I really mean it, I mean, he's in gifted classes and highly intelligent in computers and things like that. So, I mean, he is a genius. And I'm not just saying that just because I'm partial. I am partial, but anyway. He actually gets to go to our local high school. He's in 3rd grade. But to take gifted classes with other students that's gifted as well. And so that really helps because he gets also one-on-one attention from high schoolers about computers. They have selected a few high schoolers that individual, of course the teacher works with them, the gifted teacher, but they also have more of like a very intelligent high schooler to also work with the children and let them kind of be able to brighten what they are. A lot of times the gifted kids, like my son, is more gifted in computers, technology, things like that. So whatever the gifted child advantages in, that's what they want to learn. All the rest of the stuff is like, I'm bored, I don't want to do it. And so, I mean, I get that all the time, I'm bored. But this way that they can do things they enjoy and that does not bore them. So I really like the gifted program because for my child, it gives him a chance to exceed in his thing that he loves, which is, like I said, electronics, computers, and tech. I mean, my son can even tell you about Linux. I don't even know what Linux is. I've heard him talk about it a lot. I still couldn't exactly explain to you what Linux is, but I know it's an operating system. but I still get a little confused. I mean, um, when I was growing up, it was more about, sorry, a car's passing. When I was growing up, we didn't have the technology like the kids does today, of course. When I was in high school is when they started bringing out computers a little bit. I mean, it just barely, you got to touch one. Nobody really had them at home that much. Just only people that was really deeply already into them. And they was very expensive too. And this was like the late 80s, early 90s. And, as well as I do, internet really hadn't come out yet. We hadn't had that whatever dial-up. My first computer was a Windows 95. And I bought it used. I mean, at that time, they was, computers was high. I had a big old desktop and that whatever, ringing dial tone, to get on the internet. I mean, you remember the sounds if you're from those days. I'm sure they're on YouTube here somewhere if you want to hear the sound of dial-up internet. And so, I mean, that's what I was raised with. I took typing classes with a typewriter, electric typewriter, when I was in high school. And, of course, that ain't even heard of no more. So, I mean, I was at the age of, I remember taking a computer class. And I'm going to go off the Caleb story. Of course, that was his birth. Caleb done well, and you see, he's 9 years old today. Or the other day, a couple of days ago now. And the reason I hadn't been on here, too, I've been very busy, so... and I just hadn't had a chance to get on here, so I wanted to do that today and just talk to y'all and have a little chit-chat with you. But I remember even, with computers, taking a computer class. It was kind of a nighttime class. They had daycare for your children. And a friend of mine had invited me, and within about, I'd say 4 years, maybe 5 years after I took that computer class, I had no idea, probably about 4 years later, that I would be holding a job with the computer that I had. That would be my primary job. I was the first person in my town. This is the second time I've been a single parent. With my other children, well, they was little, me and their father divorced, and I had sole custody of them. So, my youngest daughter at that time was 3.5, or just turned 4 months old. And they was all the way from 4 months to 13 years old. So, I didn't want to have to leave my baby in daycare. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom with a baby as long as I could. And so anyway, I developed and created a job, the first job in my town like this, that I was selling on eBay. And this was when eBay was really big. And you could really make some money. This is for people who already bought all their antiques they wanted, all their childhood memories. Of course, everybody's done kind of bought that up now. But I was doing this when that was popular. We're talking about 2020 or 2003 and 2004 is when I started this. So I'd go around yard sales and buy things. And at that time, I did not have a phone that you could look up stuff. I mean, if I had the phone I had now, it would be, I'd save some money and save some clutter. But, so I'd go around to these yard sales, buy up stuff I thought in my head that May would sell. So I done that, kind of got used to seeing things. And then, anyway, that was the scenario. And I started making fair money at this, pretty good money. And a relative of mine that well, she's deceased now. We lost her, but this person was close, almost just like a parent to me. I've known them since the day I was born. And so, anyway, she had me to come, and anything I wanted out of her garage that I thought would sell, just go ahead and take it. If it didn't sell, bring it back. If it does sell, just bring her what she had on it, and I keep the rest. So anyway, and after I was doing that for her for a little while, sorry, a car passed. After I was doing that for a little while, well, she started telling different people that, hey, she's selling for me. If she heard about if they had a car for sale. I mean, I'm not kidding you guys. I was selling cars, boats. I mean, I would not sell a car unless I made $500. The work on selling the car on eBay is crazy. And the things they want you to look at should be kept behind closed doors on cars. No, just kidding. But I mean, you'd have to go under the car to get the undercarriage. I mean, it was crazy. I even sold a 57 Chevy Bel Air convertible, 90% restored. It was beautiful. That car went to Atlanta. But I sold boats, speedboats. I remember this couple out of Florida, now it's crazy, would come to Kentucky and buy a boat. But I was selling this boat for this woman. It was more of a speedboat. Well, I told them what kind of boat it was, and after they got here, they're like, they looked at the boat and they looked disappointed. And I'm like, oh great, I could use the money. And of course, I'd put it a little different price on. That way I can make money as well as the person, the owner. Well, anyway, they was going to they said, well, let's test it out. And the owner of the boat, we all went to the lake. I just told them my daughter was with me, and she was young. And I said, well, I'll just wait here. So the lady, the owner of the boat, she's like, okay, I'm going to go out here with these two. It was a man and woman. I don't know what that woman did to those people on that boat. They come back like this. We want the boat. We want the boat. They entered the boat like, I don't know if I want to buy this thing or not. They come out of that boat. Who should we give the money to? Hook it up to our car or we're taking it home. I looked at her and I said, what did you do to those people? She just turned around and winked at me. But I thought that was so funny. I won't never forget that. And so anyway, I've dealt with a little ball of it. I've done that for 7 years. And yes, I even sold a Corvette and tractors. Of course, we're farming state. Like I said, boats. The only thing I never sold was a house, and I wasn't sure if I needed a license, and I didn't want to get tangled up in something. I could probably make some really good money. I kind of wish now, back then, that I had went ahead and got a real estate license. But, I mean, maybe that wasn't meant for my cards, So, I think I'm meant to what I'm doing right now, right here, making everybody on here happy, is what I'm meant to do right now. And put on my YouTube show and for everybody here. But, so anyway, yeah, I done that for 7 years. The economy got bad. So I did, and but that helped me stay with my daughter till she started school. So, I mean, that was 7 years I was doing this. Excuse me, but the economy got bad. And yes, I know I've got a little touch of laryngitis, so please overlook that. So I went to work, again, on computers. I went to work as a customer representative for Verizon Wireless cell phone service. So, and that was for regular service. So if you had problems with your bill you received in the mail for Verizon, you call customer service. Since I'm south, we only dealt with north people in the northern states because they didn't want, that's when we had to actually be in the call center. It wouldn't work from home job. We had cubicles and things like that. But we served the north because they didn't want us, in case anybody got mad, to be able to find our location of our store. So it was kept private under assumed name is how you had to apply. But anyway, I was customer representative for Verizon Wireless cell phone service. So yes, as soon as you call me, I would say, thank you for calling Verizon Wireless. My name is Kimberly. What can I please have your first and last name, please? Well, actually, well, you're telling me your first last name, let's say John Doe. That's popular. Okay, John Doe's your name. But where you're saying your name, it's nice to meet you, Mr. Doe. How may I help you today? Okay, that's a clue of how may I help you today. Well, while Mr. Doe's sitting there complaining, my kid ran up his cell phone bill, our last cell phone bill. Whoop, okay, big hint right there. I catch in keywords what Mr. Doe's saying. I jump in there on the bill, because he's done said bill, so I know it's going to be about the bill. I'm sitting there looking, oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you, Mr. Doe. Yes, Mr. Doe, I'm very sorry that happened to you. Yes, I can understand your frustration. Well, I'm just kind of casually talking to Mr. Doe and kind of relieving keywords like, I'm sorry, Mr. Doe. I'm very sorry this happened to you. Letting him vent. He's venting his problems out. Of course, he may be venting a little anger out. But I'm over here looking at the bill. Oh, son ran up his text bill. That's what Mr. Doe's going to want about. Talk about that texting. His texting bill is $5,000. I already know what to do. Put Mr. Doe on a plan so I can magically wipe that bill down if he accepts that plan. I'm just giving you an example of a phone call. So after Mr. Doe gets through venting, well, Mr. Doe, this is what I can do for you and help you with your situation right now. So let me explain this to you, Mr. Doe. What has happened is about this bill, your son ran up to texting. And your texting is too much on this line that your son has. Blah, 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 line number. Well, what I can do now for you, Mr. Doe, I know this has already happened, but that way I can lower your bill. I'm going to put you on a texting plan. And the only thing is that I could take all this away, but on this phone line, you're going to get the texting plan or family plan or whatever at that moment. And you are also, the only thing you'll have to pay extra is a month in advance because Verizon charges you for a month in advance always. So that way, if you say cut off my phone a month, you still have that service and they're already paid. That's the reason why they do it. Hard for people to understand that. So that's your proration and why you're getting charged for the current month we're using now, plus a month in advance. Because at the end, Verizon, again, you're going to have it for that month and you ain't going to have to pay nothing because you already prepaid it, technically, when you added something. So that's the proration and what it means. So if you ever hear proration charges, that's what that actually means. A lot of people don't understand that one. But anyway, so Mr. Jones, I can cut that $5,000 back. The only thing you're actually going to pay on your next bill is, or we're going to lower this bill, down to about, whatever, if the texting plan, let's say was $100, it'd be about $150 for this month, or your next bill, or sorry, this month, And then from here on out, it'll be just the $100. So, thank you, Mr. John. I'm so happy to, the pleasure to be able to take care of the situation for you today. Yes, I appreciate it. Leave me that 5-star rating or thumbs up on YouTube. Yes, Mr. Jones, I appreciate it. Okay, I'm glad to help you. Bye-bye. And that was a call. So that's what I done all day. And I done that for about 3 years. But you do get some very serious phone calls, very mind-boggling phone calls, and some even people that don't want to be here anymore phone calls because their bill was too high. Yes, I've had those. And so anyway, that's what I done at those times. So again, I was working on computers. And up to this day, right now, watch, I stayed at home a lot. Would be my husband was married. He wanted me to stay home with children. And again, to this day, right now on YouTube, what am I doing now? Computers. So even though to go back, I didn't learn that stuff in school. I just took maybe about 3 nights of a computer class. And just very little basic. Copy, paste, how to get on the internet. They said never be scared of the internet. So I'm like, okay, I won't be scared of it. I'll do whatever I want to do. I mean, in reason, So, this is why I'm here today talking to you. Because I didn't know back then, if you would have asked me in high school, what am I going to be when I grew up? I would have never said talking to somebody on video on a place called YouTube and creating content. And I would have never told you that in high school. I don't even know back then what I wanted to be. I always knew I wanted to be a mom. But I would have never told you the job I'm doing now at 51 years of age, that I'd be creating content for you. So, it's amazing what you go back and think about what you said back then. None of this existed. The job I'm doing right now, and I do get paid, I'm monetized, and I'm soon to be having 4,000 subscribers, y'all. Keep them coming, keep them coming. I'm cheerleading for myself. But, all seriousness aside, I would have had no idea back then that I'm going to be doing what I'm doing today. This did not exist. And I'm doing a job of creating content and putting it on YouTube and trying to do the best I can. Of course, I know I ain't posted the last couple of days. I've had things come up just where I hadn't had time to, and I'm very sorry about that. I love to do a daily video if I can. And tonight me and Caleb's gonna sit down and we're gonna do a box opening from Amazon. Some people, y'all have sent me. So I haven't even had a chance. I got them Sunday. I know one person, Lisa, sent stuff for us in Caleb's birthday. So tonight, me and Caleb plan on, after we eat supper, doing a video and getting it out here tonight for y'all guys to watch of our box opening. And so, yeah, it ain't something I forgot about. I ain't had time to. And please forgive me for anybody that, has sent anything that I haven't had a chance to open, and doing stuff. I've just being a single mom, I get busy sometimes doing other things. Like yesterday when Caleb came home from school, I had to make a trip to Walmart. We stopped by the car wash. I have an unlimited car service of car wash, so, but it's in next town over. So anyway, I had to do that and go by Walmart, get some groceries. I can't get in my town that they only carry at Walmart, plus some other things that I needed to pick up. Anyway, I could get here or there. Sometimes it's a little cheaper at Walmart. It wasn't a lot of stuff, so I didn't do a grocery haul. I love doing grocery hauls, though, so watch out for those grocery hauls, everybody. But anyway, if you ever want to donate to my channel, It's in the description. And when we buy more groceries, get more grocery hauls. Did you know one of my last grocery hauls, I had so many views that I could almost pay for half of my groceries. Ain't that wonderful? Just off that one video. My videos has almost doubled in the last, and I can do a video of talking about it when I have the numbers exactly in front of me. But in the last month, 2 months, everything's been rising. I've been getting a lot more subscribers. Very excited to see the 4,000 marker. It won't be long, I don't think. Maybe a few more weeks, maybe another month, but it'll be here soon. But anyway, I see my numbers of views adding up. And of course, each video, if I get 1,000 views on, let's say, maybe this video, I want to make anywhere usually from $6 to $10. Okay? If I get 5,000 views, let's say it goes big, like the grocery haul, I'm going to make, okay, if I get $6 on this video, let's say, and I got 5,000 views, that's $30. Or $50 if I got $10. It depends. Sometimes YouTube's a little, usually I don't make no more than $6 a thousand, and I have made up to $10 a thousand, roughly. So anyway, my big goal is, though, to hit 10,000 views per video. That's my big long-term goal I hope to succeed in doing. You know, most people hope for like 100,000 views. I want 10,000 views a video. And that would be a blessing to my heart. And to know that, you know, I can really help support us on that. But of course, always welcome any more growing, of course. But at 10,000 views, we'll just double the 5. $60 at 10,000 views to $100. Now imagine making that every day. That would actually, for what I draw right now in our survivors benefits, I could do that and not hurt our benefits. Plus, that would be so much extra income for me and my son a month. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead. I have made this video long enough, I guess. I still got a lot more I could sit here and chit-chat about. Maybe I'll do another chit-chat video in a little while. And who knows? I ain't going to make a promise. I'm going to sit down and relax for a few minutes, too. I need another cup of coffee in me. And I've only had one. No, I'm sorry. I've had 2. Maybe I need a 3rd cup. Yeah, I make a cup at a time, not a pot at a time. I have a K-cup holder, just does a cup at a time. So don't think I've drunk 2 pots of coffee. No, 2 cups. So anyway, and it's kind of, in the sun, it's really warm out here in Kentucky. I don't know what the temperature actually is, but it's kind of a little cool. Like right here where I'm sitting at, it's kind of a little bit cool, not bad. It's got a little breeze to there. Oh, and I want to tell you, when I took Caleb to school this morning, I pulled back up in my driveway, and standing in my driveway was 2 little bitty, they was young. I don't know if they was directly babies, but they was very young deer. But 2 deers was just standing in my driveway. Of course, when I started to pull up in the gravel, that's kind of spooked them, and they took off, you know. They headed to the woods behind my house that I own. So, yeah, that was cute to see. I don't see, that's the first time I've seen one directly in my driveway. Now, usually I'll see them over here on my property, but right there in the driveway, usually I don't see them, but that was kind of cute this morning. A very nature, what I call God's scenery he gives us, even in animals, even looking at Teddy. You know, God made these creatures, you know, animals, beautiful, and gave us something blessed to look at, just like that view behind me. You know, I've been blessed right down with a view. And I know a lot of people enjoys that too, that, you know, has watched my channel. But anyway, I won't keep going here and rambling, but I hope you enjoyed the video and me chit-chatting a little bit about Caleb and a little bit about me, you know, places I've worked, and I wouldn't imagine I'd be working on computers when I was in school that didn't even exist, really. Barely. Internet didn't exist. So anyway, again, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a blessed day. Hopefully me and Caleb will get to do that box open tonight, which I'll post it tonight, so watch out for that. And I hope each and every one of you have a blessed day. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, make a comment, and give me a thumbs up. A hop if you want to. Hop. Sounds like hop almost, don't it? But anyway, thank you guys. Have a great day. God bless you. Bye-bye.